Hi there, Victor Pross speaking to you, Anarchist Artist. Okay, name of the video is State, Government, and Remembrance Day. Now, in this video, I'd like to distinguish the difference between the state and government. I know a lot of people use the terms interchangeably, and yeah, they're indivisible, it would seem. They're to speak of one in a lot of cases is to speak of the other, but I'd like to introduce a distinguishing factor, however, where they can be considered rather separate. Okay, now first of all, governments come and go like morning mists. There's all different types of governments. There's plutocracies, dictatorships, theocracies, fascist, socialist, communist, monarchies, and etc., etc., etc. All different types of governments. And the people, the aggregate of a small cadre of individuals who comprise any government, the ruling elite, the top of the heap, the upper echelons, come and go. They could be overthrown by purges and beer hall pushes and whatever, or elected. They come and go. So that's what also comprises the government too. So there's different types of governments, and they can be led by different people that come and go. Like I say, governments come and go like morning mists. But the state is a constant. The state is a constant. And the state encapsulates all of these different types of governments. Now, when you look at the differentia and the genus of it all, you do understand, of course, that the state is simply whatever the origins of the state. It's a very interesting academic question in itself, the origins of the state, which I believe to be in history shows that it really was a matter of divide and conquer, a small handful of people backed up with a ton of propaganda horseshit overtook the rest of the population. And if it wasn't just done with direct kick your ass violence, we don't care what you think, then it was later on became more sophisticated, where brainwashing the population into accepting this rule became the order of the day, and that even became more and more sophisticated as time marched on. I mean, you had the social contract and the divine right of kings as justification for this small handful of people to rule the ass of everybody else, but that's the point is that the state is a small handful of people through divide and conquer and propaganda, or all of the three, or one or two of the three, overtakes an entire population. And then within that framework, the state, you came all types of configurations and sundry types of governments operating within that paradigm. So that's how I would distinguish the difference between the state and government. But in a very strict way, though, is that they are indivisible when you take the two phenomena. So now, a lot of people consider the now. I did say that the governments are things and that come and go, but a lot of people tend to think of the state as some kind of metaphysical absolute. Let me explain what I mean by that. I'm sure that you've all heard the phrase, the two absolutes in life are death and taxes. Now, I know that that's spoken in some kind of jovial, colloquial way of looking at it, but there's a deep truth to that. truth in one sense, not that that they are absolutes, but in the sense that there's a truth in how revealing it is psychologically. And that's this, is that a lot of people tend to think of the government or the state as some kind of like entity on its which has its own life, and it's rock solid, it's here, and it's a metaphysical fact. It's woven in the fabric of reality. Just like death, there's everybody who that's a living organism is going to die. That's a harsh and brutal fact that we all have to face, is that one day we will die. We know it as an absolute. We know it. And I think that it's a grave mistake to regard the government as some kind of metaphysical absolute fact that it must be. So, and it's very unfortunate, because it's very unfortunate for two reasons. Number one, it's not true. And number two, the state is a destructive entity. It's a violent, sociopathic, propagandized, dispensing, predatory, evil, despicable entity that comes in sheep's clothing. Those are the historical facts, okay? Those are the existential facts that bear me out. All you have to do is take a casual glance at history, and you can see that wherever there has been a state, yes, and that includes the American government too, the beacon of freedom. Yeah, I gotta tell you, it includes that as well, right? And no matter what kind of government we're talking about, this like the soft, fuzzy sounding words of democracy. I know it sounds good, right? It sounds really fuzzy, democracy. Gotta tell you folks, it's just another fucking government. It's just another example of the state. So, so the unfortunate thing is that if we feel that we are confined simply within the framework of having to operate a society with a state in place, and there's nothing else that we can do, all we can do is just to make the best of what is considered to be a fact, a metaphysical fact. And what we have to do is control this behemoth, this leviathan, by voting and by cajoling it and by protesting and occupying and marshaling it and trying to utilize it to do our bidding, to either transfer the wealth to the 1% or transfer it back to the 99%. But somehow we've got to operate within this framework to make social change. That is the tragic mistake that we're making. That is the grotesque fact that only a small handful of intelligentsia, members of the intelligentsia, whether it be Michael Shanklin, Stefan Molyneux, and I will include myself into this cozy network group as well. And I do it with my art. I try to communicate the message with my art, and just by direct spoken word, as I am now, to let you know that we have to do some very deep thinking and uproot this aberration right at the roots. So, like the saying goes, for all those who are hacking at the branches, there's a few handful of people who are striking the root of this mammoth falsehood that the world has ever seen. Government, or the state, and religion are the blights on the human race, and they are not metaphysical absolute. Government is a fantasy just as much as the supernatural is. There is no reality to this, folks. You are wasting your time investing your emotional and intellectual capital into this. That's my message today. Thank you so much for listening. Victor Pross, Anarchist Artist, signing out. Pop goes the culture.